is Wednesday evening. It is 7 o'clock, and this is your Wednesday. What have I called it now? It's a Wellness Wednesday. Welcome. Just really quickly, as always, can I just ask that you let me know that you can hear me okay? I'm using yet another new mic, and I just wanted to make sure that I am loud and clear. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Kevin Guthrie, local psychotherapist. I do these feeds because I'm aware that, I was aware back in October that as we went into the winter months, that things were going to get a little bit heavy because things are dark and cold and all the rest of it. So I wanted to put out these feeds on a Wednesday evening just to try and give tips and hints and guidance over how we can remain healthy during the winter months. As it turns out, things have kind of taken a bit of a turn over the winter, back into January. So these are kind of in line with lockdown as well, but they're just, they're well-being. They're well-being sessions to help you begin to understand why we feel the way that we do, and give you as much as possible, give you as many kind of tips as possible that we can get through to the spring and summer months and survive this, because we can. I promise you, we can survive this. I know it's a bit tough. I know it's a bit hard, and nobody expected the lockdown last week. Well, some people expected it, but kind of didn't at the same time. So it has come to a big shock to a lot of people. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is comment, ask me any questions you want, and I will try and answer them. Questions are always really, really valuable in here because I want these sessions to be yours. I want you to own them. I am just going to sit here as a resource that you can tap into, okay? Health and well-being, wellness, all of that. I want you to be able to ask questions. If you want to ask me privately, you can put a feed into a Guthrie Therapy and a private messenger, and then nobody will see it, and I'll ask it. I'll answer. Answer is the word. Anything you want. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do, the second thing I'm going to ask you to do, because that was the first thing, is share the feed. Why do we share the feed? Let me tell you. We share the feed because if I can't do anything more than to promote these feeds. I can't. And for me, they're a wonderful little resource that would help so many different people. If we share the feed, then more and more people get to watch them, okay? Because if you share them from your platform, then they go out and your audience see them, and then their audience sees them. So we just keep sharing and sharing and sharing, and all of a sudden the numbers build. It's not about me, it's not about my business, it's not about my promotion, but it is about getting resources out to people that might need them right now. Okay, I'm wondering how you are. How are you doing? How is everybody? I was last here mid-December, so it's been a while since I was last here in this capacity. For those of you who don't know, I've started a daily live, so 8:15 Tuesday through to Saturday, although not tomorrow morning. I know consistency is key, but I had an appointment in 8:15 just for 10 minutes, just little poppets of we can do this, and helping you understand again some of the feelings and emotions during these sessions, which are a little bit longer. We will go a little bit deeper with certain subjects. So this morning I talked about purpose. We looked at purpose. We looked at purpose because I was aware that people were really struggling to find purpose in the middle of a pandemic. It's really tough. Okay, so we're going to look at purpose tonight, and we're going to really dip into that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was hope. So hope is a great little tool just to lift us a little bit, in terms of if we have a little hope. So if we have a little hope, I don't know, for example, that by September of this year, things might be just a little bit clearer, then it just lifts the spirit a little bit and it frees the mind up and it allows us to live in that little bit of hope. When we look at hope, we're not going, we're going to make it achievable. It's living in hope. It's not about living with stuff that is unachievable. So by May of this year, I will have traveled the world. It's never going to happen, so therefore I'm not going to do it. By May of this year, I have gotten on a plane and gone somewhere. Probably not, so I'm not going to live in that hope either. But by September, things might be a little bit normal, a little bit better. Ooh, normal, interesting word. For those of you who don't know me, if there's anybody tuning in that doesn't know me, I'm a psychotherapist. I work with people one-on-one all week. That's my work. I also work with companies in terms of well-being. And as I said earlier, I do these feeds because I want to be able to give as much as I can, as many resources as I can to you to take away to try and survive the current period. Let's have some hellos in the room. How are you all doing? How is everybody? I've heard that a lot of people aren't doing so well, but I want to know how you're doing right now, my audience, here and now. Don't forget those shares. So hope. Hope is a really good one. It's good that we have little pops of hope. So I have a question for you, and you can feed these answers in or not. It's entirely up to you. If you were going to work on a little bit of hope, if you wanted to have a little bit of hope, what might it be? What might be a good little bit of hope for you? Good little bit of hope. That is terrible grammar, I have to say. What might be good for you? Hey, tell me. Tell me, for me, what would my hope be? My hope would be that in September of this year, that I don't know, that I might be able to get on a plane and fly off somewhere nice and warm and lie on a beach or by a pool. That might be my hope. Okay. Uh, Another one of my hopes might be that we all get to this and we are better people for it. See, that feels like a massive hope, doesn't it? It feels quite big to kind of go with that hope. So, what are your hopes? What are your hopes right here, right now? Let me just see if I can see my feed. I believe I can, although I'm not entirely sure. You know, when you're live, you don't click anything. You don't really want to click anything. So there we go. The other thing I wanted to talk about was what we're going to do is this evening we're going to go into purpose. I want to look at purpose a little bit. What is purpose? What's happening with purpose? And I want to go into that just a little bit deeper. The other thing I wanted to talk briefly about was moods. A lot of moods around at the minute. A lot of all sorts of moods. There's moods from grumpiness to anxiety to apprehension to being overly happy, which I'm not entirely sure all the time is real. What other moods might be around? Exhaustion. Oh my goodness, exhaustion. Exhaustion is more of a feeling than a mood, but a lot of exhaustion around, a lot of exasperation around. A lot of people are in a place where they go, oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore. You can, we can do this. Okay, I promise you, we can do this. I know that it's tough. I know that it's difficult, but we can do this. Okay. I am getting comments, and actually, I can't see the comments. Let me see if I can see my comments. There we go. I tell you how weird that was, because I was thinking, nobody's talking to me. Why is nobody talking to me? That's really strange. You're usually really, really chatty. And there you are, you lovely, lovely people. Okay, do we have any questions in the room? Let's have a look. Denise. Denise Starkey has bought my hope for 2021, which is the current year, is to have a skiing holiday with my family at Christmas. Massive hope for me, as I do not do not like heights. Skiing and heights. You can do that. You can do that, Denise. Hi, Denise, Sue, Hadra, Amanda, Julie, and Les and Stuart and Mandy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the room. Right, now I know you're there. Now I know you're communicating with me. We're going to have a little bit look at purpose. So purpose for me. I'm going to take a drink of this, and I can't turn my mic off, so you might hear me slurp a little bit. 1 minute. As excruciating. Purpose. Purpose for me. Let me describe it from my own purposes before I read something to you. Purpose for me is like it's like a drive that comes from here, right here, and it's a drive that kind of almost lifts us. It gives us a reason for being, gives us a reason for being here right now. It gives us a reason to get out of bed in the morning. It gives us a reason to either get out of bed, to get out of bed and have a shower, to get out of bed, have a shower and get dressed, or different levels of purpose. It gives us a reason to get out of bed and do some of the incredible things that we all do. Do you know what I mean? Because we all do incredible, incredible things every day. For me, that's purpose. It comes from here. It's literally like a drive, and it just pulls you. Not many people in the world have found their purpose. We're not taught to find our purpose. We're not taught to find our meaning, to be here, to be alive, to be breathing. Uh, at the moment, let's say, what can I use as an example? Let's say somebody ran their own business. Okay, somebody ran their own business. It was a really successful business, and it's all wonderful and it's all great. And then all of a sudden, that business is locked down. If their purpose is attached to that business, then all of a sudden their purpose is also locked down. So you end up with a person there that is massively lost. Every part of their being is about getting up and going to that business and running that business and being challenged and all of that. And then all of a sudden it's gone. It's completely gone. Everybody that is furloughed, everybody that is being pulled away from their jobs to homeschool at the minute, everybody that has been made redundant, everybody that is ill or has been ill may also lose their purpose. I've worked with so many sports people over the years that at some point they've had an injury, so sport has been their reason, their purpose, and then all of a sudden there's been an injury, and all of a sudden it's stopped. The whole thing has stopped completely, and it's so tough for them. But interestingly, they don't realise it's tough, but it's really, really tough because their whole purpose has been taken away. It's interesting because I can work with somebody like that, and we can, I don't know, 45, 50, 55, 60, whatever, and then they're presenting with problems here, but then you go back through their life history and you look at points where, I don't know, a particular problem may have started, and actually early 20s, teens, whenever, there's usually some sort of event they haven't even recognized in terms of something that has affected their purpose. Okay, so purpose. How do we develop purpose? How do we develop purpose right now? How do we develop purpose given, I don't know, given that our jobs might be on hold, given that we might be furloughed or any of those other reasons, or we might be looking after an ill person that we out of duty because we have to, but that's not necessarily our purpose, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. How do we develop purpose? So let's have a look at that. I'm just going to look at these comments again. For some reason, the comments aren't feeding through, which is a shame. Nicholas put, my kids are a good reason. That's absolutely fantastic, and for a lot of people, having children is an amazing purpose. I hate saying this. The difficulty with that one is sometimes, particularly women, I have to say that, can then struggle through that transition period. For me, it's a real point, a real kind of transition period. Can I just ask a strange question? Are you getting what's the word? Subtitles on your feed? It's just a question because I can see a lot of box down there that's doing subtitles, and I'm not sure it might be uncomfortable for you. Mandy has put, my hope is to get to spend some time in the garden with those I love this summer, sharing a cheeky gin, and that I can hug my grandson again by the summer. What an amazing, beautiful hope that is right there. Do you know what I mean? That you can do something as simple as that. You know, being in the garden and having a cheeky gin and having a hug. It's just, I love the simplicity of that and how beautiful it is. And honestly, I hope that for you as well. As just put, my hope is that I can go out for a haircut in the not too distant future. I miss my trips to Anizia. I know. I'm with you on that one. Amanda has put, my hope is for people not to forget to appreciate the small things. So hope for hugs and friends soon. Love that one as well. And we've done one about skiing. So I wanted to look at how we develop hope, particularly in this particularly difficult time that we're going through right now, because it is difficult, and I'm not going to fudge it up any other way. It's a difficult time right now. Start new conversations. How do we start new conversations? Start conversations. This is, for me, this one's excruciating. It's excruciating because I'm, despite what I'm doing right now, despite kind of chit chatting away on this camera, I'm quite socially. I don't. I don't want to say the word. I'm quite socially awkward. There you go. I've said it. I'm just a little. I'm just a little bit quiet. I'm not socially awkward, but I'm the kind of person that would step back and not step forward. So I'm not the kind of person that would strike up a conversation in the middle of Sainsbury's, for example. I'm just not that person. So maybe that would be challenging for me. So maybe if I did that and then I succeeded, it would give me a sense of purpose. So do you think you could do that? Do you think that you could? Uh, do you think you could strike up a conversation? At the moment, the only place that we can really go is supermarkets and maybe the range. I disagree with that, but that's another matter. I'm not being political. Uh, could you do that? Could you strike up a conversation with a stranger? I did a lockdown live yesterday morning, and one of the Action for Happiness challenges was to smile at people when you were out walking, and I talked about that yesterday. And again, it can become a little bit of a game to kind of, because some people don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. They'll keep their head down, and I kind of make it a challenge now to go, morning, hi, you're right, and I kind of almost like make them speak to me. So do you think you could do that? Do you think you could start a new conversation with somebody, I don't know, in Sainsbury's? So for example, I don't know, somebody picks up a pie and then you go, socially distanced, of course, with your mask on. It's going to make it all the more difficult. Oh, have you had that pie before? How is the pie? Is it a good pie? And just have that conversation with them. Go on, I dare you, and then you can feed it back to me next week, or you can feed it back to me privately. Maureen's put, I hope we can all appreciate what we do have and not dwell on what we don't have. Be thankful for our health. Yay, love that. I say this all the time, focus on what is, not what isn't. Because, we have these two sides of the brain, and if we focus on what is, then we engulf the positive side of the brain with these positive thoughts. But if I focus too much on the fact that I can't do all the things that I would like to do with my daughter, or I can't do all the traveling that I would like to do, or I can't yada yada yada, I can't go to the gym at the moment, then I pull the blood across to the more negative side of the brain. Okay, so it is really important. Thank you, Maureen, that we focus on those more positive things. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the room. Somebody's just put no subtitles. Thank you. On a little box on my screen, there's subtitles, and they are not very nice. So we're talking about purpose, and we talked then about starting new conversations with people, with strangers. Maybe we're starting up old conversations. Maybe we've let people slide a little bit. Maybe we want to start up new conversations. I don't know. Hannah's put, I smile to try and brighten people's day. And if they smile back, I say hello. I love that. I love that. I think, you know what, if we all did that, and I do, honestly, when I'm out there and I'm walking, which I'm doing an awful lot at the minute, 80%, a good 80% of people will look and say good morning or say hi. So 80%. So let's see if we can get that to 100% over the next few weeks. Let's make that our lockdown challenge. The other thing I've got written down here is surround yourself with positive people. Here's the thing about surrounding yourself with positive people. We know that we get fed by energies from other people. We know that. We know how it works. And if we're around negative people for too long, then we start to take on their energy and we start to feel their negativity. You've heard the phrase mood hoovers. It's a little bit like that. I've just seen a comment just before it vanishes in the screen. Hannah's put, hi Hannah, I'm hoping to go camping with the family in the summer. That's lovely. I'm not a fan of camping. If I went camping, I would want a shower and maybe a proper bed. I'm not sure that's camping really, but I love the fact that you're looking forward to going camping. And honestly, I really hope that you can go camping. Uh, so, what was I talking about? Positive people. Positive people. It's difficult because sometimes we're around family members or people that or work colleagues is another good one. Maybe not so much at the minute, but we can be around people that aren't so positive. I've said this before, but this is a really good tip. If you're around people that aren't overly positive, firstly, be aware. I talk about awareness quite a lot. And secondly, imagine yourself in like a bubble, in your own little protective bubble, and nothing they say or their energies can't get into you. And as bizarre as that sounds, it really does work. It really does work in terms of protecting you from their energies because we don't want their energies coming in and spoiling our smiley faces. Do you know what I mean? I just need to put try glamping, Kev. Yeah, that would be more me. Maureen's put I can talk to with a laughy face. I can talk to anyone. There are a lot of people like that, and yet I don't get jealous of people that can talk to anybody. I'm quite envious that people can talk to anybody. I, for me, I'm just a little bit more reserved. Uh, no right, no wrong. I just want to read that message there before it vanishes. From the lovely Mandy. Yes, I am my father's daughter and love talking. I find it harder with a mask on. Isn't it difficult with a mask on? Isn't it just harder to have conversations? It's actually kind of put me into a closet even further. Not that kind of closet. That went a long time ago. I say good morning to everybody, and I pass. People can't see your smile in a mask, but I've been told that you look at people's eyes more. You do. That is so true, Mandy. I have started looking past the mask and going to here and seeing if I can see people's eyes because I do believe that if we're smiling, we smile through the eyes as well, and we can see it. And if you look at my eyes when I smile, they all crinkle up a little bit. So you can definitely see that I'm smiling, even if you can't see my smile. Just quickly to everybody, I'm loving the audience at the minute. I'm loving the interaction. You're amazing. Share, share, share. Let's get this feed out to as many people as possible. Let's share the love, share the positivity. Vicky Cousins is in the room from. Just to clarify, I have not been drinking. I have not had a drop. Evening, Vicky from Home Radio. I love the simplicity of life now. Oh, me too. I'm actually appreciating people and what is important. The things I miss are money can't buy moments. See how I am not a presenter like you, Vicky. Money can't buy moments, but actually, I'm finding a way of adapting and still keeping people smiling. I've taken to doing surprise doorstep deliveries to friends and family, or making I love that when when little things just arrive at the door. It happened a few times last year where something would just arrive in the door. I love that. That's a lovely idea just to do something. I was it before Christmas? I learned how to make a sticky toffee pudding. Yay! I should never have learned how to make a sticky toffee pudding because it's immense. And I delivered them to a couple of people, but I should never have learned how to make a sticky toffee pudding. That was bad. Uh, Amanda's but it does work. That's what I do. Reference negative people makes a big difference. Otherwise, you feel drained. So the tip there was if you know you're going to be around somebody that is more negative, because the tip was surround yourself with positive people. If you're going to be around somebody who's negative, then build yourself a little plastic bubble and make it yours, and then don't let anybody into that bubble. Okay, it's literally. I mean, mostly it's awareness. It's about being aware that there's a negative energy there and you're going to block it. But we can definitely block it. We can definitely not allow that energy into our sphere of energy, so to speak. So thank you for that, Amanda. Thank you for confirming that actually does work, because I know that it sounds a little bit woo-woo. She's also put nothing wrong with crinkly eyes. Thank goodness for that, because nothing's happening with these crinkly eyes. Let's just put, I'll remember that the next this next time we are out, and so we have this thing when we go out together, and Les is very, very chatty, and will talk to anybody, and me not so much. However, if Les is honest, he will say that I am way, way better than I ever used to be at talking to people when I'm out there. And I definitely, if I pass somebody, I will always look at them and say hello. Okay? So that was positive people. Listen to feedback. This is an interesting one. So, do we listen to feedback, and how does listening to feedback give us purpose? Because this is a list of things that can give us purpose, a sense of purpose right now. So we could assume that when Vicky does the doorstep surprises, that she gets a sense of purpose from that. Because I know that when I made the sticky toffee pudding and I passed it to somebody, they went, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" There was a sense of validation, and yes, there was a sense of purpose, because I baked something and then passed it on. So if we listen to feedback, how does that then give us purpose? Because if we were going to listen to feedback, then for me, I would want the feedback to be well-rounded, and the SHIT sandwich that they do when they give a negative. No, they give a positive, a negative, and then a positive. And then they kind of sandwich the negative right in the middle of two positives, because it makes it more palatable, so to speak. But listening to feedback will lift us. I would encourage you that if you're listening to feedback, and this can be in a home environment or in a work environment, I would encourage you, if you're listening to feedback, to take on board the stuff, the learning points. I don't call them negatives, I call them learning points. Take those on board, but then really focus on the positives, because they're the things that we really have to focus on. They're the things that our system right here, finds it harder to digest, to take on board. Okay, so we have to really focus on the positives, and not so much on the learning points. Learning points, not negatives. Let's just put, that's my influence, Kev. I would go with that. Can you see that wall? That wall right there. Where is it? There. Is my kitchen, and I believe there is a cheesecake being made right now. Again, do I need a cheesecake at this? Is this time of year? Not necessarily. Fourth on the list is donate time, money, or talent. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Time, money, or talent. So I've talked about time quite a lot to people, in terms of see what's available, see what charities are available, see who needs help. I walked from where I live here to another place a while ago, and I saw a sign on a lamppost saying that they were looking for volunteers. So I know that there is definitely people out there looking for people's time. There are a lot of people right now that need help, that need bits of shopping, that need all sorts of things, and that can give us a sense of purpose. Maybe we approach a charity and say, if we have, I don't know, graphic design skills, and we're on furlough, maybe we step forward and say to a charity, "Can I do anything at the minute? Can I help you with your graphic design in any kind of way?" Maybe that would help give us a sense of purpose. The money, obviously, that's an obvious thing. Buying food boxes for people, just donating. All of our clothes now get recycled. None of them ever go into the bin. They just get passed out to different people. And talent, that taps into what I was saying then about maybe the graphic design, or the music. I wonder if there's anybody on the feed that can play an instrument, for example. I wonder if there's anybody on the feed that could play an instrument, would like to do some lives that would then be streamed into an old people's home. How lovely would that be, to give them some free entertainment via a big screen? Because we can do that now dead easily, where you can film yourself just like this, but I could be appearing on a big screen. Please don't put me on a big screen. Please don't do that. Please have me. Laptop's quite big enough. Thank you very much. But you could stream this live onto a big screen and entertain elderly people from the safety of your own home. How amazing would that be? You could even do it that you could stream into 5 different old people's homes all over the country at the same time. I think that would be incredible. And in terms of sense of purpose, wow, that would be absolutely amazing. I know there's a few people on this feed that play instruments. Just saying, if you're looking for purpose, maybe that would be a really good way of gaining some purpose. See me tapping my pen then with a bit of authority. We're looking for purpose. We're looking for purpose because a lot of people have lost a sense of purpose right now. But how about that for an idea? Streaming live music into old people's homes. I think that would be amazing. So that was number 4 on our list: donate time, money, or talent. A lot of people have spent a lot less money during lockdown. Some people, unfortunately, have earned a lot less, but in a lot of cases, there's excess money around. So if you can donate to charities, that people that are really struggling, that people are really hungry right now, then there is no such thing as a selfless act. Anything that we do for people, we get something back from. We just do. We just do. We always get something back. I can sit here now and say I do this for the love of what I do, and I do, but it will feed me something back. It definitely will, because it will give me a sense of purpose to do these. And I just thought that's a fantastic idea. I think it's a great idea, and I want to see people with a sense of purpose. I don't want to see people down and sad, when I know there's some amazing talents out there. Even in terms of, it could be crocheting, or it could be crocheting blankets, because premature babies need blankets, or the breadth of stuff like that is just absolutely massive. How amazing would it be if you could crochet or knit, and you knew that you were crocheting blankets for premature babies? How fantastic! When we're talking about purpose, I hope somebody's taking these ideas and you're running with it. Please take these ideas. Uh, and as if by magic, Joe Hill comes into the feed and knitted me that beautiful hat. For all my hats knitted from now on, I'm asking for a donation to the... Yes, you took that idea. I love that. Thank you. So I asked for a second hat from Joe, and I said, with my second hat, I will happily donate some money to a charity of your choice, just to get that hat. So I'm all over that one. Mandy's put, I love music. I wish I could play. This is awesome, but I never got further than the than the triangle. I love that. I used to play the triangle at school. If I had that talent, I'd share that stuff. I really, really love it. Me too. Me too. And apparently Dexter is loving my life tonight. So what's next on the list? Explore your interests. This is when it does start getting a little bit interesting, because when I work with people one-on-one, and I'll say, what makes your heart sing? What lifts you? What? And some people literally don't know. They have no idea what it is. We sometimes struggle. There's some other work a little bit further down on this page that I'm going to pick up, because it feels like it fits in here. So I've got some questions that I wanted to leave you with later. I'm going to ask you, but I will feed the questions to you again a little bit later on. And the questions are, so these are questions that might prompt you into recognizing what your purpose is. Because here's the difficulty with purpose. We have quite often as children, we have a real sense of meandering and doing and just getting on with stuff. Yeah, we just do stuff. Unless we were brought up in a really oppressed household, quite often we do the stuff that we do when we feel it here. Then what happens is we become adults. We do. We just become adults. We become adults, and then we forget all of the stuff that actually made us joyous, because we need to earn a living, and we need to we need to pay the I nearly swore, pay the mortgage. We pay the mortgage. I just clarify again. I have not been drinking. High on life. What can I say? High on life. Uh, I want you to tap into your inner child and ask yourself, what did I enjoy doing as a child? Because there's something there. There's something in your childhood that we often did and then we forgot and then we haven't done it again. It's a really powerful question. If you can, write that question down. I don't want you to answer it now, but I want you to take it away and really think about it. What did you used to do in childhood that you really used to enjoy that you could possibly pick up now? Because there is a natural fountain of purpose right there. Amanda Wilson's put the recorder for me. Sue, the lovely Sue, has put as face-to-face visiting is a no-no. I love the idea of making phone calls and old-fashioned letter writing. I love that, a bit of letter writing to others and can make a difference with staying connected. Volunteering is so amazing and for providing you with a purpose and a feeling of, see more, being needed. Absolutely, absolutely. I know with a lot of people that when I've said maybe go and do some charity work, they've really struggled to find little bits of charity work. So if anybody in this feed knows of anywhere where somebody could get some charity work, then please feed it in, because I know that when I've kind of sent people off and said, go and see what's available, there's quite often lists to get into different charities. So if anybody knows of anything, drop it into the feed and we can use that as a resource for other people. Hadra, the lovely Hadra from Petit Versailles has put, always believe positive vibes bring positive things. The more I believe that good things are going to happen to me, they do in real. Absolutely. Les has put something funny. So Les put, cutting my sister's doll's hair, and then he put, Maria and Gail, sorry that he cut your doll's hair. But it did turn into your passion, Mr. Jones. It certainly did. So there's the question for you, and I'm going to ask you that again later, along with another two questions. What did you do as a child that you perhaps don't do now? The reason that question sung to me is because just recently, and I have no idea where this came from, just recently I have had this hankering after getting a keyboard. I can't play keyboard, but I've had this hankering about getting a keyboard and playing a keyboard. Where's that come from? When I was about 7 or 8, 9, I had this little Bontempi keyboard. You can imagine it now, can't you? Little Bontempi keyboard, had 6 little chords on the corner and a book, and it told you how to play, and I could play Silent Night really good with these really 6 little chords. And I loved it, and I sat there for hours and hours. It was in the corner of Mum and Dad's bedroom, and I sat there for hours and hours playing and playing and playing until I got shouted at for playing too much. And I want to do it again. And I'm desperate to have a keyboard and learn keyboard. And I want to, by the time I'm, I don't know, perhaps 60, be really fluid and efficient on the keyboard and to be able to play really nice things. I have no idea where that thought has come from, or that kind of hankering after that childhood thing, but I want to do it and I will do it. I'm definitely going to do it because it's like a drive right here, and something's saying to me, get a keyboard, get a keyboard. Forget what everybody else says. Don't listen to what anybody else is saying to you negatively about you getting a keyboard at your age. Get a keyboard and learn it, and I am going to do it. So my question to you is, what did you used to do in childhood that possibly could now be give you a sense of purpose? There's obvious things. Maria's put colouring in. Colouring is great. We all do colouring in, and we become very creative. But I wonder if there's anything specific. Did you enjoy? I was reading something about somebody that used to do writing. He used to really, really enjoy writing, and then all of a sudden he stopped because, in his words, he became adult, and writing didn't seem to fit with his adult life. However, he has picked it up again and became quite a proficient and professional writer. So, answer that question. What did you used to do in childhood that you perhaps could have been your purpose that got sidelined because you became adult? Carry on with the list. So we were going down the route of exploring your interests. Exploring your interests is hard, but I want you to really try to not my mic, feel it from here. This is not about What's it not about? We have to feel it. It's no good saying I like, because they're words. I want you to feel it right here. I want you to feel what gives you purpose in life. Okay? Uh, this is an interesting one as well. Consider injustices that bother you. Why does considering injustices that bother you, why is that good for you? Why is it good for purpose? It's good for purpose because for me it clears the decks a little bit and allows us to move forward with more freedom here. It's a thing called flow, and there's quite a few books written about flow. And flow it's like a natural flow of energy and creativity and words, and we get more flow when we place our feet flat on the floor. If I was doing this properly, I would be sat here now with my bare feet on the floor, but the floor gets a bit cold. So I'm sat with big, big fluffy socks on and big fluffy slippers. Well, not fluffy, but new slippers. But flow we get when we are connected and when our mind is much, much calmer. That's when we find our flow, and that's when we become more creative, and then we start to connect to stuff that we weren't overly connected to. There's a thing as well about walking to I can't see it. I'm looking that way because there's a bookshelf, almost closing your eyes, pulling a book off, flicking it open, and then reading it. And they say that whatever you read will resonate, and you were meant to read that thing right now, but you have to be very connected and very in flow. I'm aware that's a little bit woo-woo. So yeah, consider injustices that bother you. So what would we do about this? We would consider them, we would write them down, and then we would say how we are going to deal with them or process them. With the injustices, if you have to write to that person, and not anonymously, but they're never going to get the letter. If you have to write them, I like it. I like a good bit of letter writing. If you have to write to that person and really let go in the letter, you can swear, you can curse. It's unedited. It doesn't need to be grammatically correct, but we process it and we let go because it frees up our system. Okay. Just what I did an online calligraphy course on Sunday, and it was fab. You know, Joe, you are way more creative than I ever gave you credit for up until you produced my beautiful hat. Amanda's put used to play Secret Agents when little. Don't think that will happen now. Oh, Amanda is a secret agent. Get in. You were meant to be in the FBI, Amanda. I can't turn it off. Don't listen to me slurping. Excuse me. Well, that's a bit sour, guys. Not enough honey in that one tonight. Mr. Guthrie, you haven't done that right. Right. Consider injustices that bother you. Discover what you love to do. Discover what you love to do is last on that list, because if we go through the list one by one and then we get to the bottom part, it is about discovering what we love to do. I love working with people. I love assisting people however I can. I get a lot of purpose and passion from my own growth, and then being able to pass on the learning from my own growth to other people. There's a lot of passion there, but I'm aware that not that it's not enough, because it is, but I need something else in my life, and I think that's where the idea of the keyboard comes in. That I want to learn keyboard somehow. So yeah. Watch this space. I could be sat here in 6 months' time going like this, playing you a little tune. Promise not to sing. Promise not to sing. So back to those questions. If you've got any questions, please feed them into the feed. And Maurice, but colouring is so therapeutic. I love it. It is. It really is. You know, you get these. I was looking up there because there was one up there. Mindfulness books, tiny little drawings. And know that Joe loves a good set of Lego, something creative, something that you can really get your kind of mitts into. What would I do if I was going to be creative with my hands? I have to say, this is not stereotypical, but I have to say that if I wanted to get my hands on something, I would tend to go down the being brave and vulnerable right now, let me tell you. I would have to go down the knitting, crochet, or sewing route. Yeah, definitely. Sewing. Yeah, I used to love sewing. I used to love sewing. Uh, Maybe a little bit of cross stitch. Never tried that, but it always fascinates me. I've got a client that does cross stitch. Quite often brings me their work to view, and it looks fascinating. Anything that we do like that, like knitting, I might get shot down for this, but knitting feels a little bit repetitive. I know that Vicky Cousins loves a good bit of crochet. My guess is, so correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, if you're knitting, can you almost disengage from the knitting itself? Uh, can you? If I don't know if Vicky's still on the feed, but Vicky, if you're still in the feed and you're crocheting, can you disengage and maybe could you watch TV whilst you're crocheting? I guess is my question. Joe, can you watch TV whilst you're knitting? Just but I'll do a knitting. It would be interesting in a knitting Zoom session. That hat Joe knit me was beautiful. Right, I've got another couple of questions for you because time is cracking on. We have 12 minutes left. So I asked you that question earlier. Tap into childhood. Have a look at what you might have done and what you might have really enjoyed in childhood that you don't necessarily do now. Have a look at that. The other question is, oh, I love this question. What makes you forget to eat and go to the toilet? I.e., what excites you so much that you forget? That you forget that you're hungry and that you forget that you need to go to the bathroom, for example. What a fantastic question. What makes you forget to eat and go to the toilet? Pardon the toilet part, but you get the drift. I love that question. I think it's absolutely amazing. Uh, Being in here and doing these would make me forget that. Mostly because it would be rude if I went off and had a sandwich halfway through. But yeah, what makes you forget? Have a think about it. You don't have to answer now, but these are questions for you to kind of take away. You can answer them if you want to. Maria's put, is it Bridgerton or Brigerton? Bridgerton or Bigerton, something like that. Kelly Johnson has put gardening. Oh, nice one. Gardening is good. Gardening is a great one. Sue Hallen's put cleaning. These are brilliant. These are great. Great. Bridgerton is a costume drama which is on Netflix, which is currently being watched in this household as well at the minute. What a fantastic question. What makes you forget? What makes you forget that you're even doing? Cleaning again. Reading a good book. Love that one as well. Mandy's put definitely gardening. My complete passion. Ellie Codlin has put live music. Oh, live music. There's a lot of live music. Is there still, Ellie, is there still a lot of live music that you can tap into at the minute? I keep seeing the odd thing oh, and another question, Ellie, sorry. Firing them at you now. Does live music on a stream hit the same spot as live in front of live? Ooh, good question. Painting, she has put painting. Denise has put walking in the countryside. I like walking in the countryside. I like walking where I can just lose myself in views and vistas and all of that. That's very good. Let's put we need to share books. I think that's a great idea. We have one more question here before I finish off with my. I want to really nail home how all of the things that we did in the last season of doing these. Get that. This is like a second season, isn't it? This is like a second season of Wellness Wednesdays. Season 2. I missed that on the marketing. Season 2. Here we go. Gun to your head. Sorry, that's a bit dark. Gun to your head. If you had to leave the house every day and all day, what would you do? What would you do? Where would you go? You have to be out the house all day, every day. What would you do? I'm going to be kind and I'm going to let you stay in the garden if you want to. because I saw that there was a few gardeners in the room. So I'm going to be kind, and I'm going to let you stay in the garden. But gun to your head, if you had to leave the house all day, every day, what would you do? Oh, good question. I wanted to finish with, so we've got about 10 minutes left. I wanted to finish with some of the highlights that we pulled from last season's lives. And the highlights were, I'm going to pull up another slide, because this one's really important, and I talk about this one quite a lot, and I would be really shocked if there's anybody on this feed now that isn't doing this currently. Let me pull that across. Vitamin D. Yes, I'm going to talk about vitamin D again. We have to be taking vitamin D at this time of year. It's so good for things like stabilizing mood and mood changes, but there are more and more reports coming through, and I can't clarify this, but neither can I deny it because I'm not a scientist. But more and more reports are being written that it can help with the symptoms of COVID, and it can also help with the transmission of COVID. So it reduces the risk of transmission, but if you still transmit it, then it can reduce the severity of the symptoms once you have COVID. That's not why I talk about it so much. I talk about it because at this time of year we need vitamin D. It's very, very hard to get from food. We need it from yellow food, and we don't eat enough yellow food. But look at that list of things on there that vitamin D is good for. It's a tiny, tiny little tablet or a spray or a drop. It's relatively cheap to take, and it is so good for us. So please, please, if you're not, then please look at taking a vitamin D. If you need to check it out with your doctor, then check it out with your doctor, but please take it. I feel like I've definitely been talking about this since last October, and still I talk to people and say, are you taking vitamin D? Oh no, I forgot. Don't forget, take it. The other top tips to I don't know why it says purpose now. We've done purpose, haven't we? We've done all this, done that. The other top tips around this time of year are try and get outside every day for a walk in daylight. If you have an online booking system, so if you have a diary, book yourself an hour out every lunch. If you want me to speak to your employer about why that's good for you, then I will happily speak to your employer and sell why that's good for you and why you will become a better employee once you've done that. I will honestly, I'll happily do that to anybody. So be outside every day. Stay away from stimulants. You know, I talk about this quite a lot. Stimulants are alcohol and sugar and high anxiety TV. Alcohol, sugar, high anxiety TV, on caffeine. Caffeine was the other one. And when I say stay away, because I don't want to be a complete nut party pooper, when I say stay away, I just generally mean stay away from them, not completely. I don't stay away from any of those things completely. I would definitely have caffeine on occasion, and I would definitely have alcohol on occasion, but it's all in moderation. And as I said earlier, in that kitchen right now, there's a cake being baked. So at some point, maybe tonight, that would be nice. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to be eating cake yet again for about the fifth time this week. So it's about moderation. It's about moderation and keeping it in line with eating loads and loads of fresh vegetables, fresh steamed green vegetables. So top tips: be outside as much as you can, take vitamin D, stay away from stimulants, and get some form of exercise. That's why I walk so much at the minute, because I'm not overly keen on exercising in the house. So walking is my thing of choice to try and keep me sane. The other thing to say about these feeds is please share them, please get them out. They appear on my Facebook wall after they've done. They just land there automatically by the little Facebook Live fairies. They place them there, all nicely packaged, so they can be shared wherever you want to share them. The other thing to mention, if you didn't know, is every morning from Tuesday to Saturday at 8:15, I'm doing a 10-minute live. The 10-minute live is just like a little poppet of, come on, we can do this, and we talk about something. So this morning was, I think it was purpose and something else. Can't remember what else talked about. But yeah, I call it. It's like a little poppet of granola. And they can also be shared and also land on my Facebook wall, and they can be shared at any point. We're doing those in line with Home Radio, the lovely Matt Colburn and Vicky Cousins. So in line with those. Starting podcasts again they are being launched on the 1st of February. I'm really excited by that. So a new set of podcasts are coming out all around well-being. There's loads and loads of resources out there to tap into. So please, if you are struggling with moods, if you're struggling with the current situation, it is difficult. I know I keep saying this. It is difficult. It's a hard time right now, but we can do this. And I know I keep saying that, but honestly, we can do this. And what I love about occasions like this is that your absolute positivity and around that feed. So I was just seeing if there was anything in the feed that I missed. Yeah, Amanda's put, thank you, Amanda, for reminding me of that. Stress actually compromises our immune system. How crazy is that? At one time in our lifetime that we really want our immune system to be on point, we get stressed because we're stressed because we're potentially going to catch a virus that we don't want to catch. So it is counterproductive to do that. Hannah's put walking my dog in Derbyshire. I love Derbyshire. I used to live up there and haven't walked up there for a long, long time. Maureen's put about my piano playing. It's never too late. What with a friend today who is learning to play the piano. I don't think it's ever too late to do anything. Ever. I think, if somebody was 70 or 80 and they wanted to learn keyboard, I'm sure I read a story on this the other day that somebody in their 70s learned the keyboard and it was so good for them, mentally to be able to learn that, kind of like a gym for the mind, learning the keys and the chords and everything. So that's it. I'm going to go. I just on the lives, the 8:15 lives tomorrow morning. I'm not, because I'm in a meeting. However, I have programmed a little video to be released on worrying. So a little bit of a few words on worrying and why we worry and how we try and stop worrying. So that will be released at 8:15 tomorrow morning. Please share it if you watch it and comment if you want. And I will be back next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your amazing comments and your enthusiasm around these feeds. I love it. And it really does give me a massive, massive sense of purpose and maybe a croaky throat. Am I missing anything? Denise's put, enjoy your cake in moderation, of course. Absolutely, absolutely. My dinner's ready. That makes it sound like I have my dinner cooked for me every night. No, that doesn't happen. Promise you, my dinner is not cooked for me every night. I'm going to go. I'll either see you tomorrow morning or one of the mornings on the lives, or I will see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful week. Okay, love and peace. Take care. Bye-bye.